Hello everyone, and welcome back to another video by me, Basic Ollie. So today you will join me in another FIA race, but this time it's around the Red Bull Ring. Now, one important thing to point out about this race is the tyre requirements. As you can see here, you have to use both, well, the hards, the mediums and the softs. So really important you remember to do that. The amount of times I've seen a post on Facebook groups or whatnot saying, oh, you know, I got a 20-second penalty afterwards, what happened? Just remember to change your tyres, because it happens all the time. So please make sure before you enter a race that you do check the tyre requirements, otherwise you will get stung and you will get a 20-second penalty. So just a quick reminder, yeah, make sure you check it. Now that's what you call a warm-up, ladies and gentlemen. That's exactly what you want to do in your warm-up. Doesn't make you feel like crap at all just before the race. So as we have just a quick look at how many points we've got and just the pre-race warm-up before you go into a lobby, you can see we've got Erie's in here with us as well. So this should be quite interesting, racing with another YouTuber in here. We'll see how we do. So as we enter the first lap, well, or our out lap, I should say, of qualifying, I made sure I started on the softs. A big issue with this race as well is that the game would make you start on the hards, so you have to go into settings and make sure you change to the softs. So the people that are starting on the hards, they kind of need to get around quickly to make sure that they can swap from the hards to the softs. I am on the softs already, but I just decided I want to go around this first lap quite quickly, just to make sure I can get in the pits, put on a fresh set of tyres, and then have a slow kind of out lap again, and then just basically give the full beans for my qualifying lap. I only want to do it once. Don't feel the need to do a second lap because the tyre wear is incredibly harsh, as you would have seen at the start. I think it's like times 15, so you don't really want to do more than one lap on a set of qualifying tyres if you can. If you do one lap and then decide to do another and you go quick on your second lap, it kind of indicates that your first lap was a bit rubbish, to be honest with you, because the tyre wear is so high. So yeah, if you know you can go fast on the second lap, then you know your first lap just simply isn't enough. So maybe you should have pitted and got some fresh ones instead. But never mind, eh? So out lap wise, we've gone pretty quick, to be fair, because I just want to get in the pits and put some fresh softs on so we can go again. It's only one lap less fuel by doing this strategy, but you never know, it can make all the difference, especially in qualifying. You don't want to lose out on pole position by half a tenth like I did in the previous video. Not annoyed about that at all. Yeah, but anyways, yeah, as you can see, put the softs on, so we'll just quickly do this pit stop here. Pit stop here, not too long. Always the stop duration is always the same. I find like 4.938 or something like that, is it? Yeah, 4.938, there you go. And the pit stop here is, yeah, it's around 22 seconds to get yourself out the pits, and then you're off again. So on this lap here, this is virtually our second out lap. We've got to make sure that we don't get in the way of anyone. But again, on the straights, I'm just going to put my foot down just so I can burn some fuel. It doesn't do too much damage to the tyres because you're only really going in a straight line. Try and minimise how much I kind of turn my steering wheel. Obviously, the more you turn your steering wheel, the more you're going to wear out the tyres on the front. So you see in the corners here, I just take my sweet time. I'm in no rush whatsoever around the corners because I want to preserve the tyres for the qualifying lap that we do. So I'm just constantly checking behind me to see if anyone behind me who might be trying to nick my slipstream. I don't like to give it out to other players, if I'm being honest. I'm a bit of a hypocrite because on my qualifying laps I always like to try and find someone, but I always think to myself, well, if that person behind me beats me by a tenth or so, then it's kind of my own fault because I gave them the slipstream for the whole race or for a section, and it might have caused them to overtake me. So I always try to avoid it if I can. Think of that as you will, but that's just the competitive side of me. I just want to make sure I always do my very best. But setting ourselves up then, just a couple corners to go. It looks clear behind us. Got no issues, so we can pretty much get set already. I can see my tyres just ever so slightly. I've already got a red mark and I've barely gone around the corner. At this point here, I saw a couple of people behind me on the map, so I decided to really slow down, turn myself into a ghost essentially, and then as soon as they go past me, to put the foot down to see if I can nick the slipstream of one of the cars here. So I see these two go past. I see the Brit in the Mercedes, not Lewis Hamilton, but someone else. As we now go through the last corner, we put our foot down and let's see what kind of time we can do then. So this is quite a good length for the slipstream. Shouldn't impede me on my lap too much, and I should get a decent amount of slipstream. Just breaking before the white marker there, turning in nice and early, taking as much curb as I can on that one and keeping it in third gear. You don't want to go over the yellow curve on the left hand side there, otherwise you will get a corner cutting penalty. So did well there. Again, following the guy. Slipstream on this track is very important because it can literally give you about 4 or 5 tenths over a lap, which is massive. So we go purple in the first sector by nearly 3 tenths, so it's a very, very good lap. I messed up that corner a little bit, kind of going into first gear, made the car a bit unstable, quickly went into second and managed to get my foot down again. As we keep following this guy, I think we're slightly catching him, to be honest. He's not really got a slipstream of anyone else. So it is just me braking before the little border on there. On the left hand side you'll see a little white marker on the curb. That's where I normally brake in qualifying anyways. In the race completely different. I brake well before that, otherwise you go off, just like Titan Marduk did in his video. You don't want to do that. You don't want to bottle it on the last lap. I felt for him when I watched that video. Really don't want that to happen to you. So as we catch up with this guy, at this point I'm starting to get a little bit worried as we go purple again. We're 3.5 tenths up, so this is looking really good. The slipstream has made a massive difference for us, so we have gained a lot of time. Corner wise, this car's good, but it's not great. You'll find cars like the Toyota and the Porsche a lot quicker around the corners. Same with the Renault, they're quite good. Really hit the inside of that corner well. This corner here, brake early and then just try and get a nice exit and don't go over those white lines too much. I was really close to getting a penalty, and it's exactly what I wanted. But as we cross the line, a 1:35.9, so we are half a second clear of the guy in second. However, we've still got a few guys running, and there'll be a few people who have done the same tactic as me, and they've gone in after one lap, set some, put some fresh tyres on, and are ready to set a qualifying lap. So here we go then. As the timer goes down, we're still in first. We've got 1 minute and 35 minutes to go, just to see what everyone else does. So BB Rackus in the F-Type just goes 3 to bruh. And again, just like in my previous FIA race with the Porsche round Laguna Seca, we have been beaten by what, less than half a tenth. So yeah, and he's done, to be fair, he's done very well. He's in the Toyota 86, so that thing is not very good in the straight line, very good around the corners, but I can only assume he got the slipstream all the way around like I did, but he just murdered it in the corners. He did really well in the corners, so he's got me there. I literally just beat the guy from Finland there, again in the Mercedes, so looks like Mercedes quite strong. Qualifying's complete. This is the top 14 there, so yeah, I think the top 14 within 8 tenths, so that goes to show you how tight these high rated races are. So we start in second, then NLR Phoenix in first. We've got the Finnish driver in third, the German in fourth, and Ursel again in fifth. The YouTuber, I think it's Aries, sorry if I've butchered your name, mate, I have no idea. He's in ninth, with 1:36.4, so half a second up on him, so very happy with that. He's a very, very quick driver, so if you would have told me at the start that we would be able to beat him in qualifying by half a tenth, I'd have been very, very happy. So let's see what we can do in the race, and let's see if we can, let's see if we can nip it off the guy in first, because that first straight, or the first couple of straights, first corner as well, it's going to be really important for us because he's going to be in that Toyota. We're definitely going to get the slipstream on him, so I reckon if we do have a good start, take that first corner well, get the slipstream all the way up the hill, and then take him possibly on the second corner. But let's see how this starts. Here we go then, boys and girls. This is it. So just going to go through the lineup once more again for you, as the FIA races always do. So NLR Phoenix in first, 135.9. We are just in second, with, again, a 135.9, just less than half a temp down. And then we've got the Finnish driver with 135.9 again. Yes, so that was very close. In fourth place, got the German. Again, less than a tenth down on first place, and then in fifth place we've got Ozil. So really tight field, as you can see, really tight indeed. So as we just quickly zoom through the rest of these guys here, there's BB Rackus, keep an eye out for him for the race, and then there's the YouTuber Eries right there. In this race then, I was kind of mixed on the strategy of what to do. As you know, you've got to use all 3 tyre compounds. Quickly set my brake bias to 2 on the rear, as I want to keep those front tyres as fresh as possible. So just before we get under the way then, strategy wise, you don't have to worry about fuel. The only thing you have to worry about is using all 3 tyre compounds. And it was really hard to kind of guess what the best strategy would be for this race, knowing that you've got to use all 3. I did realise that the hard tyres are a bit naff, as we get a really good start on this guy here. Get the slipstream, we go for the move on the first corner, can we get it together? Get on the inside, stick it in third gear, beautiful. Just give him enough space there as we get the move done. He'll probably have a slipstream up the hill, but in that Toyota, I don't think it's going to do too much. As you can see, he's already dropped back a little bit. So, yeah, in this race as well, I'm going to be leaving the replay camera in the top right, because I don't think having a look at the map is too useful if you're going to watch it. If you're going to race, fine, but if you're going to watch one of the YouTube videos, it's not that useful to you. As you can see, the guys behind me starting to fight a little bit, which is great news for me as I start to pull away. As we can see, 1.2 seconds ahead after just 2 corners, which is great. So yeah, fantastic. If you know, that is a really good start. So 1.3, 1.4 now as we get that corner. We brake just a little bit late, but we managed to sort it out on the exit. Yeah, this is a very good start. 1.6, 1.7 in any race, especially an FIA race. If you can get away nice and early, set the pace, control it, and see the guys behind you fighting, it's, you know, sets you up beautifully for the rest of the race, really, because you can have some nice breathing space. There's not as much pressure on you, and you can just control the race and decide when to push, when to slow down, what to do with your fuel, change the brake bias if you need to, and you don't have to worry too much about the guys behind you. So after this first lap then, I'm just going to quickly give you a rundown of what a lap around this place is like. So always try and get a good exit on that corner. Don't try and go too wide, otherwise you're going to lose time, and you could lose a penalty by going all 4 tyres across the white line there. So first lap 142.5, not a bad opening lap, as you just brake for the left white marker there. Get yourself nice in and early on that corner. I try to use as much as possible, don't use too much, as again you will get a corner cutting penalty. You'll notice that the Toyotas and the Porsches, they will get a better exit around there, because you know they're a lot better around the corners, but this Lexus is really good in a straight line. So at the start of that corner it dropped down to 1.6, and then after that corner, because of the awesome straight line speed of this car, we were 1.8. The corner we just took there, again, I found it quite hard to get the braking point right, because the braking point is like between like 100 and 150 metre border, so I can never really get it nailed on. This braking point here, again, I just looked out for that white marker on the left hand side. Tyres are still quite fresh at this point, so I definitely could have braked later, as the guys behind me catch up by like 3-4 attempts on that. So bad corner from my perspective, because I've just braked way too early. This corner here, again, hit the middle of the apex and then power out. Make sure do not go all 4 wheels above or across that white line, because you will get a penalty. The penalties on this track can be quite harsh, so always make sure you keep an eye on that. Again, NLR Phoenix in the Toyota, through the middle section, he's going to be a king, because he's in that Toyota and it's fantastic round corners, so he is going to make up a lot of time. There I brake too late and I do not hit the inside of the corner, so again he's right up. So even though I had a gap of 1.8 seconds on lap 2, it was a very poor lap from me, and I just let them back in the race, which is, you know, not good, because I only had a 1.8 second lead start lap, and he has gained what, 1.3 seconds on that lap. So not a good lap time from me at all, not at all. So we'll try and fix that in the next couple of laps. So as we look behind us then, just quickly, the guy is right behind us. Got a little bit of a gap between the guys behind us. The Toyota will be doing its best to keep in my slipstream, just to make sure that the guy in third place doesn't seem to catch up. We're going to go purple in the first sector again, so 2 tenths up. I'm expecting that because again the Toyota has set the fastest lap, but it's not going to be good around that first sector because it's only really got one corner. So my Lexus should be king around there compared to his. So as we start to go down this downhill section here, or the start of it, about just short of 8 tenths up. So this corner we do a lot better this time. As we go from 8 tenths to 7 tenths, it just adjusts slightly, as you can see where I accelerate and he accelerates out of the corner. The times will fluctuate as to when you're coming in and out of the corner. Again, about 8 tenths, and then drops it down to about 7. The advantage of the Toyota, and then drops down to 6. So I know this seems really picky going through, you know, it's only a tenth here, tenth there, but in racing it makes all sorts of difference. So that corner again there, look, you can see there's about 6-7 tenths, and then he does one corner and he gained about 2-3 tenths with there. Yeah, so it's just going to be real back and forth, back and forth. I don't know whether this guy would have kept with me if I got him out of the slipstream. I'm not quite sure, but he's a very quick driver. He beat me in qualifying, and I would say he's got the slowest car out of me and him around this course, as he gets a really good exit coming out of here. Just 2 tenths behind me, and I was worried he was going to take me for the lead, but the advantage is if he does take us, we've got that straight line speed, and we'll just get the corner or the position straight back. Take that corner pretty well this time, maximised every aspect of it, and we did better than the Toyota. We're slowly pulling away, even with the power of the slipstream on this game. It's not enough really, so again he was 2 tenths behind us on the straight, and then by the time we've got to this second corner essentially, we're 6 tenths up. So that is the difference really in the slipstream. The advantages of both cars and the characteristics can kind of be seen how the Toyota handles well, but my car is just, overall I think it still handles pretty good, but that top line speed really kills that Toyota on this track. So as we go into this corner here then, looks good. I have to say, I have included the replay camera in the top right. I do love it. I think it's a really good addition to the videos, so you can kind of cut away and see, not necessarily what I'm doing, but you can see the cinematics of the race and see where everyone else is. Because I feel as if you just keep it on my what I'm doing, you're not really going to see what's happening behind me. So I'm just going to, from now on in the videos, I think I'm just going to probably include the replay in the top right. I think it looks pretty smart, and I think it looks really good. So annoyingly, I've seen a lot of YouTubers say about this, the black banner on the replays, you can't get rid of them, which is really, really annoying. I'm sure there is a way where you can change like the aspect ratio when you're on your telly, but that's a lot of effort just to try and, you know, see if you can save the replay so it's full screen. Reading on the forums, it says they've got the black banner to try and increase the frame rate when you save it, which, you know, I'm all for, which is great. I've got no issue with that. It's just, I feel like we should have the option, if we want to slightly lower the frame rate and then make that little replay window just a bit better. As we look behind there, it looks like the Toyota of NLR Phoenix has got a half-second penalty, so he has clearly cut the corner on the first corner of the lap. So that's caused him to have a half-second penalty, which gives me a bit of breathing space. As you can see, my tyres in the bottom left, sorry I should say, are starting to dive deaf a little bit here. They on the tyre indication in the bottom left, it looks like, you know, oh, I've got 50-60% of the tyre left, but realistically it feels a lot worse than that. It always does. You know, indication wise you think it's about 50-60% more, but it feels and drives a lot worse than that. As you'll see, my times kind of plummet. So I lost, compared to lap 3 and 4, what did I lose there? I lost about 5-6 tenths, so that's a lot of time in one lap really on the track that doesn't have too many corners and is quite short. But NLR Phoenix serving his penalty then in the last couple of corners. The penalty area is on the I think it's on the second straight of, say, if you were, so you start your first lap, go past the first corner, then the second corner, and then the penalty system's there, so that's where you serve it. So he served that there, and that's just left the German to jump into second place. And now the German started in 4th, I believe, so he's done pretty well to get up to second place, as we now try and pull away from him. He is in the Honda NSX, so good on fuel, which in some races can be a real advantage. Not so much on this one, purely because fuel is not a real big issue. As we see two guys pitting quite early there on lap 6, so they'll have different strategies, probably going for the undercut. But with a German in the Honda, he's going to have a bit better top line speed compared to the Toyota, so he should be able to stick with us a little bit better. Every lap I seem to be going purple, because obviously the Toyota set the fastest lap, and he is pretty slow on the straight, so in the first sector I should be quicker, but as you'll see every lap it's gone from 3 tenths quicker, 2 tenths quicker, 1 tenth quicker, half tenth quicker. So it's really going to show you, even though it's just one corner, the tyre wear on my tyres is really starting to kill me. As you can see, I kind of go in pretty deep there, and it gives the Honda a good chance to catch up there, so he's gained about 2-3 tenths me on that corner. I have changed the rear brake bias to 2, so that it means when I'm kind of heavily braking, the rear end's going to stick out a little bit more, but I kind of just wanted to save the front tyres as much as I could. So coming in then, just 2-3 corners before we decide to pit. I think I'm going to pit for lap 6. Strategy wise, when I was going around this circuit, I want to do 6 laps on the softs, because I'm in the race, so people kind of just react to what I do. So I thought I would do 6 laps on the softs, and then my second stint I decided to go on the mediums. Now I did this race earlier and I made a mistake of cutting through the flag there to try and save some time, but the game don't like it. It will give you a corner cutting penalty. So we're going to pits then, make sure we select mediums and not selecting the softs again, because we will miss the mandatory tyre settings and we will just get a 20-second penalty. So there's no point in that, so you've got to be careful for that as we go through the pit stops. The mechanics are always doing a solid job. They're really consistent, aren't they? Always 4.9, always 4.9. As we start to come out the pits again then. So let's see where about, it says 15th, but that's because it's still count from when we were at the back. So as we come out the pits then, we'll look behind us. We've still got the German behind us. He's decided to react to exactly what we do, which is not a bad idea. I think an undercut may have worked, but to be honest with you, you want to spend as little time on the hard tyres as possible. So he's pitted early on the softs. If he decides to do a hard stint now, he will be significantly slower than what I am, because I'm on the mediums. So as we start on lap 7, we're about halfway through now. Done the first 2 corners before we go to the downhill section again. Coming out, we're 9.6 seconds behind the leader, so that's the guy in the Toyota. We know a pit stop's around 20 odd seconds here, however it does kind of come out after the first corner, so you don't lose, say, 20 seconds when he goes in the pits. I'm certainly not going to be, 10 seconds ahead of him, but as we came out, I think it was around 10 seconds, and we're halfway through this lap, going through the midfield section, and we've basically almost cut a second off his lead. So he's going for the overcuts, but on this game doesn't really ever work, to be honest with you. The undercut, or sticking to the best strategy, is the way to go. Don't try and do an overcut is my advice, because, well, it's never worked for me. It might work for other people, but it's never worked for me. So he's in the pits then, so this should promote us up to 3rd place, and there we go. So now just 5.9 seconds off the lead. We've gained a bit of time with the German, so he is 1.5, almost 1.6 seconds behind us. We just break on that marker there as we go over the first corner there. Make sure we get a good exit, and we're onto one of the straights yet again. So yeah, 5.5 seconds off the lead. We've got the Portugueseman. He was in the Jaguar F-Type. I can't remember what position he was in when he started. I think he was 6th or 7th. As there we go, first sector. What a surprise! We're purple by 4 tenths. Massive. I didn't do too well on that braking point, to be honest. I was a bit early. I was kind of just waiting to get on the power again, but not too bad. Still, we've gained 3 tenths on that straight and that corner essentially. So we'll gain that on the leader. I'm not really sure what the Jag F-Types, what the Portugueseman's strategy was. I didn't see what tyres he started on, but we're on lap 8 and he's still going, so I can only assume he's gone on the mediums and the hards. It'll be an absolute baller if he started on the softs, to be honest, because they should be dead on this lap. 4.5, so early indication then we've gained a second on him this lap, so can't be going too well for him out at the front. As we go purple again, we'll have to see if we can set a purple lap time, see how we do for this last section. I struggled a little bit, if I'm being honest, in this car going through this section. I didn't really feel like I had the front end grip to get a real good hang of it, but this time here seems to be okay. It's just this section here, I'm really, can't really judge it too well. As the first and second going to pits there, so it looked like they were on the mediums. So stretched out a stint on the mediums, 8 laps. So good stint on the mediums there. They can definitely do 8 laps. So can hards as well, but they certainly die off after about lap 6. So those last 2-3 laps on them would have been quite painful for him. As you can see, I gained over a second on him on that lap, so that might have damaged his race a little bit. But having said that, doing 8 laps on the mediums, he probably only has to do 2 laps on the hards if he wants to, and then drop straight on the softs, and he can be right back in contention for this race. So as we go through the second corner again, we are now 2 seconds ahead of the German. So going really well so far at this point in the race. Lap 9, I'm feeling really confident. I feel like we've done really well so far. Have not led an FIA race like this in a while. When I did the video earlier in the week around Laguna Seca in the Nations Cup, I was kind of just stuck behind an Italian, I think, in second place for around 13 laps. Didn't really, just kind of copied him to see what he would do. Then we managed to take him on the last lap with a Spaniard. Absolutely twatted us out of the race, but I managed to just stick on the track somehow and took him with about 2-3 corners to go, so that was quite a good result. But yeah, that race, yeah, I just followed the guys. This one, I'm just out in front, kind of controlling the pace and seeing what we can do. I'm not pushing myself too hard, because I feel as if as soon as you try and push yourself too hard when you're lead, there's not really a point. You're in the position you want to be. Don't push it too hard, because if you wipe yourself out, you're just going to feel like such an idiot if you throw away all these points. And these races here, in the FIA races, these are SS and A+ lobbies, so plenty of points available then. I think it's tier 3 is what we're in, so there's still another 2 tiers that we could go up in. I've been in tier 2 before. It is quite a big jump, surprisingly, but tier 3 is probably where my markers are around now. I could certainly do quicker, but tier 3 is probably where you've got more chance of you know, fighting for a podium position or whatnot. Top tier, you know, tier 2 and 1, especially 1, you're gonna have to be really, really quick. You'll be with the big boys, you know, like your Kai's, Kai 25 and stuff like that, and TRL Lightning. You've got no chance against that guy. He can go in the worst car and he'll still smash you all over the park. So if you see that name, yeah, RIP in the comments. So as we have a little quick update on lap 10 then, 2.7 seconds ahead of the German. At this point here, I'm quite happy. Tyres are lasting quite well. The mediums probably are the best race tyre for this circuit. I do like the softs, but they do drop off extraordinarily quick. On the mediums, I was quite quick. You know, 1:36.3 in my fastest lap, so just 4 tenths off the fastest lap on a set of mediums. And I'm sure the guy Phoenix, when he set his fastest lap, was on the softs. So we've lost a bit of time there, about half a second there. So the Germans starting the game. Still got NLR Phoenix in 3rd place, but at this point we are just controlling the pace. However, at this point I started to get a little bit too confident. I brake a little bit too late, and as you can see there, I've gone 4 tyres over the white line, and that's going to land me with a fat half-second penalty. Oh shit. So all that hard work then over the last 11 laps could be completely destroyed because of that half-second penalty, and the penalty point is on the straight, as you are about to see, and that is a horrible place to have it, because you are going to lose more than half a second, I can tell you that much, purely because you slow down. So we're going to do it now, and there you are. So it's not massive, it doesn't make a, you know, it's not like a 5-second penalty or whatnot, but instead of half a second, probably is worth about a second of a penalty on that straight. So, and it kind of messes up your braking point for the next corner, because also you're not going to be going as quick, so you've really got to watch out for your braking points, because it will have changed. So the markers that you normally use on the left hand side, they will be completely different. So that is not what you want to do. You just want to make sure that you do change your braking points. So sit rep, not too bad. We are still ahead, about 1.5 seconds now. I feel like the pressure's on me a little bit, because I feel like the German is quite quick now, and he's ready to pounce on any mistakes I make, as the mediums are starting to go off a little bit now. So we're 5 laps into our 6 lap stint, so the tyres will be going a bit worse for wear. And in these Group 4 cars, as soon as you get some sort of decent tyre wear, all you notice is understeer. You get it for days. You turn like a boat, basically. It just does not turn. Whereas this time, I want to say, compared to the last lap, I brake a lot earlier, because I really don't want to make the same mistake as last time. However, because I brake so early, the German makes about 3 tenths on me on that corner, so not great, not fantastic. As we can see, there's some people going into the pits there. So they're on the mediums, they've pitted on lap 11, so I assume they will be going on the hards, or they could be going on softs, you know, do a 4 or 5 lap stint on the softs, which is what I plan not to do, because I've already done my softs, so I will be doing the hards. Now, 6 laps on the mediums, 6 laps on the softs, and 4 laps on the hards. My preference is, well, is that basically, because I want to spend a little time on the hards as possible, because even though they have the best tyre life, they really do, they kind of suck. They're not quick at all. As in that previous corner, we were awful there, but even the I don't even think the fresh hards would have saved us in that corner, because we were just terrible. As the German is really starting to put some pressure on me now, with just 5 laps to go. It's not what I want. So we're under a second now, so he's going to be in that slipstream range, and he's going to be gaining time on me on the straights. Even though I have the top end speed, that slipstream is just going to be too strong. As we can see, he's now 7 tenths behind us, and he's closing in quickly. So again, brake a little bit early and a little bit harder on this one, because we don't want to go out wide and get ourselves a penalty. As the German there and Felix, they both decide to stay out. So I'm not really sure what their strategy is on this. I can only assume they will go softs, then mediums, and then do like hards for like 2 laps, because they don't want to go on them. But for me, at this point, the mediums are just as fast as fresh hards now, and they're only going to get worse. So lap 12 is when we pit as a boys to another 4.938. Very consistent, lads. Well done. We come out the pits then. We are on the hards, the worst of them all. We've got a nice little gap behind us. 8.5 between NLR Phoenix, and 10.2 between us and the leader. Slowly rising to about 10.4, so we need to keep a close eye on that then, just to see what we can do on this outlap, as you want to make as much time as possible before they pit. We've got the Portuguese man behind us, but we've got a gap of about 2.2 seconds, so not too worried about that now. Just want to crack on and see what kind of time we can gain on the people ahead of us, really. So looking at the time then, 10.3, so it's not really moved much at all. Again, on the hard tyres, so our braking point is going to be just slightly different, as the rear end there kind of wants to just kill us straight away on those hard tyres. I don't want to know, but yeah, still 10.3 seconds as we go through this middle section. Right then, ladies and gentlemen, as you've probably noticed, as much as I have, the Portuguese guy behind me, he's made massive gains on me. He must be on the softs. He's really caught up to the back of me here. I'm feeling quite threatened, to be honest with you, because he's come absolutely out of nowhere. So, as you can see, he's in my slipstream now, the Jaguar F-Type, just as quick as my car in a straight line. So he's going to be gaining me on the corners as well as the straights. Yeah, he's brought himself right into this race. I'm not quite sure what strategy he used, but he's done very, very well. As we're on lap 14 now, so just 3 laps to go. Well, 2.5 really. 9.2 seconds behind the lead and make that 9.1. I'm still quite worried here because the front two still haven't pitted. So maybe I've missed something, I'm not sure, but they've still not gone in the pits. So as we're gaining time with them, about a second or so a lap, it's not really enough. It's not enough at all, as the Portuguese guy here gets real close behind us, but I really want to defend this position. I don't want this potential victory to be thrown away, as we can finally see, at last, the two front runners, the German and the Frenchman, go in the pits. So that will give us P1 then. So it looks like they went softs, mediums, and then hards like I did, but they stretched out the stints a lot longer. To be honest with you, it's not worked out well for them. as they both go on the hards there, and they've dropped down to 5th and 6th, well now 6th and 7th. So Portugueseman right behind us then, as you can see, right behind us. So this is just going to be, you know, a defending game now. So just going to have to put an absolute masterclass of a performance in defending, because this guy is going to have the better tyres on me. Certainly not on the hard tyres, I can tell you that much, because this guy is quick right now. So all I've essentially got to do, sounds easy, is to you know, defend in the right areas, stick to the right hand side. I can see him, I can see he's making gains on me on the straight. You can see it's just 3 tenths behind me now, so got to be really careful. Try and not let the pressure get to me, stick to my braking points. I'm gonna, if he gets really close on the corners, I'm gonna kind of like park it on the apex, make sure that he can't kind of undercut me or try and overtake me by going on the inside or whatnot. Just keep it nice and smooth, as we are getting very close to the end of this race now. Just 1.5 laps to go. So through this middle section here, I felt quite good. Even though he's on the better tyres, this middle section here is very hard to try and overtake, as he gets a much better exit. You can look at that radar below me now, you can look at the replays. Look how close he is now. My goodness me, as this race is just about to start on this last lap. Let's just make sure we do not throw this race away as we finish the last corner of the penultimate lap and we get on the main straight and start the last lap of the race. So this is getting really tight now. Just 3 tenths as he gets the slipstream all the way behind me. It looks like it's just going to be me and the Portugueseman. Make sure I do not hit my miss my braking point, I should say, not hit it. And there, lovely, good exit. But this guy, he's following me, he's doing exactly what I did, and he is very close now. I think he's going to have an attempt on this corner here. I would if I was him. I stick to the inside and just go defensive here, brake as late as I could. Again, like I said earlier, park on the apex, he can't undercut me, but he goes for the left hand side, then goes to the right. He's got the power. Now I just keep my car straight. I try and minimise how much road he's got, not trying to knock him off. As we get in a little barging match there, I'm not trying to hit him off at all. I'm just trying to make it as tight as possible, and he keeps hitting me, and I just brake at the perfect time. I managed to just cut in front of him like that. Look at that. That is super close. Don't know how we didn't really go into each other there. If you're watching the Portuguese guy in second, I really wasn't trying to hit you at all. I was literally just trying to minimise the amount of track you had, so it'll make it easier for me to defend. I wasn't trying to, you know, nudge or anything like that. I was just going as straight as I possibly could, and then yeah, I can see that you just hit me left to right. But here we go. He's going to have another attempt at me here. Look how close this is. This is so close right to the end. Less than 2 attempts now. 10.5. I can see him on radar. I've had to go defensive. I've stuck to the right hand side. I'm going to stick there. Brake at the right point. Just brake a little bit earlier. Stick it on the apex again. Go defensive. And through this corner again, it's going to be increasingly hard for him to make some sort of effort there. But he makes a really good exit. He's right behind me now as we come on the straight. Here we go. Here we go. Are we going to defend this position? I think we are. And that is P1. Whew, that was a lot closer than what I wanted it ever to be. That was ridiculous at the end. That Portuguese guy really gave me a run for my money there. I think another lap, he definitely would have had me. I think on that final lap, maybe his soft tyres kind of gave up a little bit and he couldn't make as much gains as he wanted to. And there's the classification there. If you just want to see that, your name might be on the list. So well done to anyone there who's made it, who's finished within the top 10. You've done really well there. But there we go. That is first place in the FIA manufacturers in a top tier race. Ecstatic with that. I was really happy. It took me ages to win my first one in my last video, so to win 2 in a row now, it's brilliant, absolutely love it. So a nice juicy 262 points there, and that is going to look really well on the manufacturer's board. So there you have it. Bit of a long one on this one because it's a good race. I just wanted to show you every aspect of it. Yeah, but thank you so much for watching this long video. If you like what you see, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Take care.